So, if you remember, if anyone's actually going to watch this, I gave a really good recommendation for the book Renegades because, well, it was an interesting take on a superhero story framed in a YA, well, framing. It was pretty good, and I came away really liking it. And I hope the sequels would stand up as good as the first one did, at least to me personally. And, well, let's take a look at the sequel, Archenemies, and see if it held up as good as the first one did to me personally. As I can't talk about the overall critical reception because I didn't look at it. I want to make up my own opinion. Anyway, following the end of the last book, where we discovered that Nova's uncle, giant, massive, super spoilers by the way, Ace Anarchy was in fact alive, surviving his final encounter with the Renegades that we believe killed him until nope, he's actually been alive underneath the church this whole time, living in hiding, waiting for the day he could rise back to the surface and take it for himself. Namely by getting his hands hopefully back on his helmet, as Nova is continuing her mission to retrieve said helmet from the Renegades, wanting to take it into custody and return it to her uncle. All the while, our secondary protagonist, Adrian, continues to moonlight as a rogue renegade, while also secretly having a giant crush on Nova. Okay, secretly, not secretly, because everyone can literally tell they have a crush on each other, or at least Adrian has a massive crush on her. Our story actually starts out with the group having an encounter with a new supervillain that goes pretty badly. In the middle of it, Adrian gets away, changes into his renegade self, other renegade self, and is badly beaten and believed dead by most people. And just during this, Adrian decides it's best to go into hiding, at least hiding his other persona away for now, so that he can focus on more important things. Like Nova. Meanwhile, the Renegades are testing out a new weapon in their fight against evil. A chemical agent known as Agent N. A concoction using Max's. If you don't remember who Max is, he is the little kid with the rogue powers that work through basically being near him. He can steal your powers away, and similar to Rogue, can steal them permanently if you're just near him long enough. They've been using Max as a secret weapon to create a concoction that can steal away superpowers from others. Yes, the plot of X-Men 3. The best X-Men movie. I say jokingly, although I still haven't seen Logan, so... Anyway, they're planning to use this stuff to clean out the streets and beat the insurgents, or the enemies, or villains, once and for all. Basically making it a world formed by the Renegades. And so Nova's mission becomes even more difficult, especially as forces within the Renegades want to use Agent N without impunity, just using it to take out anyone that they disagree with. And of course, this puts Nova on her high horse, because, well, I guess it goes against her morals to even use the stuff. But she also has another issue. She's been given another special mission to go ahead and fully attempt to seduce Adrian, and get as much information out of him as she possibly can. However, just like in the last book, she's debating on how much she actually has feelings for him or not, and whether those feelings are real or just her mission. Here's a note, they're actually real. So, how's this one compared to the last book? I have to say, it's a pretty decent middle story in the trilogy. Nova continues her mission, all the while the stakes of said mission keep ramping up with the now existence of Agent N. There are a lot of stories that focus on the whole, let's use this thing to get rid of everyone else's powers but our own storyline, and how that can bite people in the ass most of the time. And I imagine this is going to turn out to be one, because it's already biting them in the ass that Nova has a sample of this stuff. Because again, it goes against her personal morals to even have said things existing. It's an honestly complex personal and moral debate that Nova has with herself, and at least a little bit with her other teammates. The anarchist, who are her actual, at least for now, teammates, are basically full ham for it, because it means it gives an easier way to deal with superheroes, even if Nova likes to point out that this stuff can work on them too. So, I honestly liked that part of the plot, but my main issue with the book is that this is definitely a Nova book. Adrian is our secondary protag, but he doesn't get that much to do, in all honesty. He's barely there. His whole storyline is him focusing on his brother Max, which is good, and his giant walking crush on Nova. He wants to be able to talk and speak to his brother without the need of his special suit. No, not the Renegade suit, but a special containment suit like a hazmat suit. But he also really wants to get close to Nova. And he actually does manage to find some way to get close to his brother without losing his powers, which they both find as a surprise. And yeah, that's basically the book. The book is basically Nova trying to continue her mission to get the helmet while Adrian continues to be Adrian. Like I said, it's a very pretty good middle story in a trilogy. A lot has to be set up here, and they set it up pretty well. I honestly can't wait for all the setups to actually collide in the next book because it's going to be the finale. Hopefully, hopefully a lot more questions get answered. Unlike here, where they only raised a bunch more, like they did in the first book. Oh god, they're mystery boxing this to the end, aren't they? Honestly, if you liked the first book, then this one comes highly recommended. If you didn't like the first book, then I doubt you'll like this one, because nothing really changes in terms of that element, like the kids themselves. I mean, some elements can change, but not many. And yeah, with Agent N being a major shakeup in not only the story but the whole universe of this setting, I'm honestly really curious to get into the last book in the trilogy, if only to see how they finally fully flesh out the rather dubious moral argument of Agent N, and seeing just what a fully powered Ace Anarchy can actually do, hopefully. I honestly hope they get a chance to unleash this guy's true power at some point in the story, because we have all this setup to him being incredibly powerful and he's still alive, so I really want to see him wreck some shit, if you know what I mean. And yeah, the romance scenes are pretty cute. I think some of them went on for a little too long, and they're pining for each other gets kind of annoying. But hey, what romance doesn't have annoying pining sometimes? In this case, at least the payoffs for it are some honestly pretty sweet moments. So, gonna give that a bit of an A- on the front of romance. I would prefer if they actually got together in this book to make the events in the finale a bit more poignant. But hey, I guess we can't avoid all things from the inevitable. So yeah, again, this one comes recommended. And if you just want to see some more not exactly off-brand superhero action, then this is the book for you. Until next time, everybody.